What is the creepiest / most disturbing internet rabbit hole you've gone down? And why? This will sound mild compared to the stories of actual torture and war crimes. But I heard the whole story about a Reddit user named Jason in Hell. For those who don't know, it was the real story of a man who posted in r/relationships about his wife cheating on him with a neighbor. Jason finally decides he's going to leave his wife and take the kids with him. But then the wife actually murdered the children while he was away at work. Jason made a follow-up post about dealing with the pain and grief of what happened, but he seems to be doing his best despite everything that happened. I bought my brother a taser from Amazon for his birthday one time. Looking at some of the questions, there was one asking if it hurt. The answer went something like, "It does not. I've tossed myself in the neck 30 times. Very interested in this, I go to his Amazon profile where you can see what else he has reviewed, and he reviewed a katana and stuff like that of similar nature. Still interested, so I type his name into Facebook and find a profile with a picture of him holding his katana. The first thing I notice is that he's from my city. Second thing is there are so many people posting to his Facebook saying he's the devil and they can't believe what he'd done and that they hope he rots and stuff like that. Extremely interested at this point, I Google his name and find news articles that he stabbed a guy in the chest in his apartment with a katana. Then fled and was later caught by police. Turns out he was very delusional and really needed help. He's now in jail. And according to the article, looks like he getting the help he needs. It was a very wild ride from just looking at the stupid questions people ask about products on Amazon. Undefined. Screenshot of answer on Amazon. News article NSFW. Bug chasers. Because someone asked what the creepiest, most disturbing internet rabbit hole was. What the actual feep? I clicked on this expecting mutilated insect porn. But I guess the internet likes to throw curveballs. Elaborate please. All I'm thinking of is big exterminators or doctors who specialize in insects, then weird huge insects from Australia. Bug chasing is a fringe practice of pursuing sexual activity with HIV-positive individuals in order to contract HIV. From Wikipedia. What? A sci-fi timeline PDF I found a while back. I think it was on the World Building sub. It was a timeline of humanity that started it off relatively normal, detailing human evolution as they colonized Mars and the stars beyond. It descended into body horror when they came into contact with an advanced race that for some reason I forget gene-modded the majority of humans into non-sentient species and seeded them across the galaxy. It then went into great detail with each of these species separately and their climb back to sentience. It ended with one of the new humans that evolved back to sentience standing beside an original human skull. I haven't been able to find it since, but Speep got dark. Undefined. I just spent 90 minutes reading this. I am nearly done. Wow. Just blew mind. I haven't read sci-fi since I was a kid. So this was a bit of a shock to the system. Amazing stuff. I just read the first part and came back to check if anyone had read all the way. I'm about to. This dude knows how to keep a reader's attention. Undefined. I once found a fetish forum for people who collect STDs and deliberately infect others as it turns them on. Full-on discussions about which hookers to bear back to get the complete set. Really freaked me out more than etc. ever did. I can't even remember how I found it. I backed away quickly and never looked back. Undefined. Comments below reliably inform, although I am not googling bug chasers. Yo, what is? I don't want to Google it. Bruh, I'm curious but I don't wanna search it. I looked at it and the site's broken. And on the Wayback Machine it's literally just a poorly constructed site about bogs and building bog gardens. Unless I'm missing something. Also checked out in case it was a typo. But that's just a Chinese person's self-portrait of them and their cats. Pulled up a site once that had pictures of celebs that were taken after they died. The most prominent one I remember being that of Chris Farley. Beep, that's something I'll never forget. Reminds me of the recent Even with the Kobe Bryant photos. They weren't leaked, but someone brought up the coroner had to make sketches of his condition. The crazy thing is the sketches he made of his body. Even though it's a line drawing, it's crazy and almost fictional, the brutality that was done to his body through the crash. My friend was killed in a tornado disaster. His GF's dad went looking for him. Found him like a mile away in the Walmart parking lot. All he would describe was a fist-sized hole in his head. I can't really even fathom what he truly saw. Plants can exhibit Pavlov's behavior, meaning they remember and can be trained. Even though they have nothing that we can describe as a brain or a neural network. Study shows plants can learn from experience. Plants remember. Here is the evidence. Plants can make memories. Signaling %20 network %20 in %20 their %20 cells. Undefined. Plants attach their roots to mycelium, which is kind of like a neural network. Researching attachment therapy. As used on kids diagnosed with attachment disorders, aka holding time. Compression therapy. Coercive restraint therapy. Rebirthing. I don't feel like typing out the details, but a quote from Wiki and link is below. It's messed up and has resulted in several child deaths and lots of long-lasting trauma. I have no idea why I kept reading and watching videos, etc. But I spent an entire night researching it. It was horrifying. Maybe I felt like I owed it to the victims to read their stories. I don't remember. A central feature of many of these therapies is the use of psychological, physical, or aggressive means to provoke the child to catharsis, ventilation of rage, or other sorts of acute emotional discharge. To do this, a variety of coercive techniques are used, including scheduled holding, binding, rib cage stimulation e.g. tickling, pinching, knuckling, and slash or licking. Children may be held down, may have several adults lie on top of them, or their faces may be held so they can be forced to engage in prolonged eye contact. Sessions may last from 3 to 5 hours, with some sessions reportedly lasting longer. Undefined. Edit 2. Someone has created a sub for survivors of attachment therapy. r/survivors of at. There is a beeping name for this. This happened to me. Reactive attachment disorder youth here. Hi. Thank you for giving me the title of this treatment. It'll help me explain things. Many people seem to react as if I am exaggerating when I mention SPEEP from foster care. I feel weird now. I'm going to go try and take a nap. Oh my god. I'm so sorry you had to go through that. I'm glad you have a label for what you went through now, and a way to explain it to others. It's awful to lack the tools to describe or validate your experiences, and have people think you're crazy or making stuff up because of that. I wish you all the best in any healing and moving forward. I read about the Japanese concentration camps being especially horrible on Reddit, and that was extremely depressing and peeped up, but I couldn't bring myself to stop reading. Yeah. I fell down the Unit 731 rabbit hole for a while back in 2018. I think I felt weird for a full week afterwards. One thing that stuck with me was reading an interview with a surviving scientist who, when asked if he felt guilty, he responded, "No. We did nothing wrong. This was war. And in war, you have to win." Edit for those who are really interested. I paraphrased the actual quote and got some of the details wrong. It's at the end of a New York Times article I'll post below. The man wasn't a scientist himself, but he was involved in the operations. At the end of the article it says, "There's a possibility this could happen again," the old man said, smiling genially. "Because in a war, you have to win. Just so you know." The entire article is very graphic and goes very in-depth describing the extent of the experiments that took place. I don't recommend reading it unless you already feel prepared for that. A relative of mine is a social worker who deals with older people. She helped arranging care for a man with Alzheimer's a few years ago. Unfortunately, a lot of people with this disease regress into very old memories. This man had been a prisoner of war of the Japanese, been subject to torture and all sorts. He was in a constant state of terror because his memory had regressed to the point where he thought he was back there and there was nothing anyone could do about it for him. Absolutely awful. On the flip side, my sister has a lot of Alzheimer's patients that think they are back overseas in the military and frequently comment that this is the best brothel, meaning the hospital they have ever been to.
Hey guys, if you like this video then smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel for more contents like this. And don't forget to press that bell icon to get notified for future videos. Thanks for watching. Click here to see more videos.